and gentlemen, my name is Decoy and we're going to be looking at some Cities Skylines tips and tutorials. Today we'll be looking at the power generation buildings and the best situations in which to use which one. Now at the very start of the game you'll have access to the wind turbine, which is the cheapest form of power generation that you'll have available to you. At 6,000 coins, this power plant will produce anywhere from 0 to 8 megawatts of electricity. The bonus to this is it can be placed virtually anywhere due to its small size and cost. The downside, however, is it does produce a moderately high amount of noise pollution, and wind levels can change, affecting the entire output of the wind turbine device itself. Moving on, we have the coal station, which is the alternative starting electricity building, which produces up to 40 megawatts at a cost of 19,000 coins. The bonus to this is it's a much more steady and reliable income when it comes to electricity. The downside, however, is it does produce a moderately high amount of pollution to the surrounding area. It also cannot necessarily be produced directly next to residential buildings due to the pollution that it creates. Alternatively, we could be looking at building an oil power plant, which is significantly more expensive than the coal at 50,000 coins to build, but it does produce 120 megawatts of electricity. Now the size difference is not much, but the power generation is much higher. So if you're stuck on space and you do not want to pollute a large amount of area, switching to oil power plants might be an option you could consider. However, usually just a few more wind turbines placed here and there can cover any extras lacking from the coal power plant itself if you start off a coal and wind turbine base. Fourth on the list, we're going to go to the very end and have a look at the advanced wind turbine. The advanced wind turbine is placed at sea and it costs 12,000, which is twice the cost of your standard wind turbine. However, the bonus to this is it can produce up to 20 megawatts of electricity. This has a relatively low input cost and a relatively small impact on your design, as it's utilizing water space as opposed to land space. This is often a favorite to be used. However, once again, it is affected by the wind, so levels can drop and fluctuate randomly at times. Moving on, we're going to be looking at the solar power plant. The solar power plant is a relatively expensive item at 80,000 coins. However, it does produce 160 megawatts of electricity. This is another high level of electricity which doesn't produce any pollution whatsoever, but the downside to this style of building is at nighttime the generation does drop to zero. So this is once again not a type of building you can rely on 24/7 to give your city the electricity it needs. It's often used in conjunction with other devices such as coal or oil or multiple wind turbines. Towards the end of the spectrum, we have the nuclear power plant. The nuclear power plant comes in at 200,000 coins and produces 614 megawatts, which is usually enough to power any medium to large size city. The nuclear power plant also does not produce any pollution and is suitable to be placed relatively close to commercial zones. You still would not want to place it next to residential zones, however. The downside to this is it does have quite a high upkeep, especially per megawatt. So placing this is not only expensive, but it does cost a lot to maintain it as well. Also, I am only going to place it down now as it's quite a difficult thing to do, and there is no river on this map, but another alternative is the dam, the hydroelectric dam. However, this is a special kind of dam. Essentially, you can increase or decrease the size of the dam to please, and depending on the water flow at the time and the location, you can increase or decrease your megawatt production quite easily. They are quite finicky to place, and you usually don't place them and expect it to work straight away, as the water levels will fluctuate, and with that the power outage and income will also fluctuate. I advise you do watch one of my previous videos about hydro dam placement. It shows some of the best places to put them and how you can tell if it's going to produce the amount that you want it to or not. There is also an incinerator as an option for a power plant. However, the incinerator produces a very small amount of electricity. Only 12 is relatively expensive, and you usually wouldn't use it for electricity. You'd probably only use it to get rid of the garbage that you have in your city. So the primary function for that is getting rid of garbage, and the electricity is just a side bonus. Now, if you've unlocked everything here and you're looking for something else because you have a gigantic city, there's only one option left, and that is the fusion power plant. This is a monument that takes quite a lot of time and patience to unlock. You'll need to do this by accomplishing certain goals. However, once you've unlocked it, at the price of 1 million coins, this power station produces a whopping 16,000 megawatts. This style of power plant will be probably the only power plant you'll ever need in a city, considering the amount of electricity produced is usually more than any city could potentially ever use. It does kind of look cool, and it doesn't produce any pollution, but it actually does produce a bit of noise, I'm sorry, but no pollution whatsoever. So this is an excellent alternative if you have the money to spend and you just want to show off a little bit. So hopefully these power plants I've talked about today can help influence on what you want to build. A good combination at the start, just overviewing them, would be 1 coal and a handful of wind, moving on to some more advanced wind turbines, and then potentially switching over to oil if you're running low on space. And when you have that done, a solar power station with either wind or oil is a good mid-size city. And nuclear power plants are probably some of the best, as long as you keep them in a safe location away from your residence. But nuclear power plants produce a very large amount that you probably will never need to upgrade from. So once again, thank you for watching. I hope you like these videos. Please don't forget to like and comment, and let me know if you want to see any more of these or any other topics you want me to cover. Thanks again, and peace out.